On Inside Tennessee with Mayor Indya Kincannon. Again, her budget hasn't passed City Council yet. We'll see that at the end of the month. The debate still underway about what to approve and what not to. But Susan, let's go to you for more on that conversation we started about housing.
Affordable housing is a problem in Knoxville. There's no question about that. We're having a difficult time, renters, buyers, everything. You had a really unusual thing happen in the city with philanthropists donating $2 million to try and help with the housing problem. First, has that ever been done anywhere in this country? How did you come up with that idea? And then how's that money going to be used to try and alleviate some of the problems?
Well, I'm really proud of that effort and grateful for the philanthropic donors who contributed. It has been done in other cities and communities, but usually it's the philanthropists who start the fund,
right,
and then they invite the cities to come join them. In our case, previous mayors started this. I've augmented it quite a bit to meet the crisis, and we have a great track record of success of doing gap financing for private developers to build new apartments for all different types of families in our city. And when they participate in this affordable housing fund, they have to keep it affordable for 20, 30 years. And so we have the track record of success, but sometimes developers come to us, they want to develop things and keep it affordable, but they need that gap financing, maybe just $500,000, $1 million for a $50 million project. And so rather than run out and say, sorry, we have to wait till next budget year, I invited generous donors in our community, and they said, we know this is a problem. It's a problem for the business community. It's a problem for the public sector, and they were willing to contribute, and we're very grateful.
These are familiar names: Randy Boyd, Jim Clayton, the Haslam family.
Yep.
Do you see this as an
Clayton.
Ongoing solicitation now that it's kind of the ball is rolling in terms of trying to find people who would contribute?
Yes, it could be. That's the way it has worked in places like Nashville and Charlotte, and I do think that our track record speaks for itself and people are willing to invest in it. But I also hope that our housing crisis is fixable. You know, we are fixing our development services. We want people to build in Knoxville, and we want to have gentle density along the corridors and make sure that we have more housing for all levels, you know, for people who can afford $500,000 homes and people who are renting and people who are trying to buy their first homes. We need more at all levels. So we can fix this crisis. It's not going to last forever.
And Indya, this isn't rent control like we see, for example, in New York. This is incentives for people to build affordable housing and keep it, and if you do so, you're going to get some government assistance. It's not mandated rent control like a lot of people complain about in bigger urban areas.
It's all carrots, not sticks.
That's
in the
right.
state of Tennessee, rent control is illegal, and,
That's right.
and actually this encourages more new development of affordable housing. And so these are you know, there's tax credits, there's support from the state, and then if we can add that extra nudge, then the private developers can make it work.
You said Kevin Clayton. I'm sorry about
Yes,
that,
yeah.
Mayor. John?
Yeah, I just want one more on this because it is such an important topic. Would you remind us of the status of the enormous Western Heights project, which is just huge? Maybe even our audience doesn't realize how significant it is. It's going to be transformational, maybe even bigger than College Homes was 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's a $200 million project. We got $40 million from HUD. The city's putting in $26.2 million, I believe, a portion every year, $4.2 million a year for the next 5 or 6 years. And it's going to, Western Heights had been one of our biggest and oldest public housing communities in Knoxville, but it was pretty bedraggled. And I'm very familiar with it because my kids went to Beaumont, and it's the community that is served by Beaumont Elementary School. And there's a lot of great families, a lot of great community there. We asked them, what do they want to make their community a choice community, someplace where you might stay even after you don't need a full subsidy. So it's going to have a little bit more mixed income. So there'll be lowest of low income up to more workforce housing. And we're working on partnerships for people to transition into home ownership too. So it's going to have a destination park. We're hoping to move our Fine Arts and Crafts Center there. And I think it's just going to be an amazing transformation.
But meanwhile, clarify if you would, like beloved community schools like Beaumont, you mentioned, are preserved. Is that correct?
Yes.
They don't sort of get knocked down.
Well, as you know, we don't have any oversight directly of the school system, but
you've got a powerful voice.
Yes, I'm very, you know, I think protecting our schools in the urban areas is really important. That we already started. We have a brand new Head Start facility at the corner of Western Heights, and with this transformation, it's the program and HUD is called Choice Communities, because you want it to be a place that even after you don't need to be in the subsidized housing, you might want to stay because it's a great school and you're close to a park, and you might have local businesses where you can buy things other than liquor and cigarettes.
This week, Mayor, a survey came back to you about parking in the city of Knoxville. It's a lot to digest. It's, I think, more than 180 pages.
Yeah.
But what stands out to you initially about what should change with the city?
Yeah, well, we're really grateful that the consultants did this holistic study, because there's a lot to analyze. First, what are other communities doing when they're experiencing growth like this, and what are the assets we have, and how can we manage them to make sure that parking is safe, affordable, and convenient. And one thing that really struck me as I skimmed through, I haven't read every page yet, is there's 20,800 parking spots off the street in downtown Knoxville, 20,800. And of those, some of those are private and some of those are public. But when you think of that number, we just need to make sure that we utilize those spaces effectively. So we prioritize, people with disabilities who need extra close access, and that we just make sure people know, okay, Market Square Garage is really close to everything, and that's premium area. But over here, State Street's a little further away, but it's only 2 blocks away. And so maybe we just
they'll park further at West Town Mall and to walk in the mall than they will to come downtown.
Yeah, and I would say walking around downtown is more charming than the parking lot of any mall.
I certainly agree.
All right, we're going to take another break on Inside Tennessee, back with more parking questions and others about infrastructure. Yes, there's a baseball stadium that's underway that will be a multi-use stadium, open this time next year. We're back with that.